Hello, welcome to Local Edition. I'm Leslie Leyton. An Orange County representative is the new Senate Republican leader in the state legislature. He's with us now to talk about his new role and what's to come. Senator Bob Huff, thank you so much for being here.
Good to be here, Leslie.
You know, in your new role, you get to negotiate some important issues, the budget, pension reform, things like that, directly with the governor. That could be a big challenge, a big opportunity.
Well, anytime you're trying to reform the way we do business, it's a big challenge, not just because you're dealing with the governor or the legislative leaders, but every line item in the budget has a constituency, every government program has a constituency.
But this could be a particular challenge because, quite frankly, you're outnumbered.
Right.
The Democrats are the greater majority representatives up in the state legislature and have indicated they really don't need to do much negotiation with Republicans because they don't really have to.
Yeah, it's interesting. Last year I was involved in the budget negotiations as vice chair of budget, but the governor said at the time when we asked, well, what are you going to do if the voters don't approve the taxes he was trying to get? And he says, well, I don't want to say that because I don't want to hold a gun to their head. So instead he held a gun to our heads as Republicans and said, you got to put this on the ballot for people to vote. And then eventually it was, you got to vote for this tax increase directly. And now he's changed that plan. He's going around us and holding a gun to the voters' heads.
Mm-hmm. So what are you going to do to make some real change, to be effective?
Well, we have a great caucus. We all come from different parts of the state. We have different backgrounds. We have many different ideas to bring to the table. So we hope to combine our voice, prioritize our goals, and work directly with the governor. At the end of the day, an idea that's good stands on its merit regardless of where it comes from. Is
there any room for negotiation with the budget? The budget just released recently by Governor Jerry Brown. What's your reaction to that, and what would you like to negotiate with
the
them?
Governor's been very generous in some assumptions he's made. He's about $4 billion off either higher revenue or more cuts, but $4 billion net difference between what the legislative analyst has done just recently. Mm-hmm. So we believe generally the legislative analyst is a more conservative number. The governor has some very interesting consolidations, and we need to drill down a little bit more and understand what that is. But all in all, it's a starting point. We're going to end up somewhere probably totally different, but it's a start. And there's always room for us in these whole budget negotiations as we try to find that sweet spot of agreement.
Mm-hmm. Give me your opinion on a lot of the negotiation now is going to sort of be done by voters in November in the initiative process.
Well, there's a huge amount of initiatives on there, which generally doesn't speak well for any of them. The more you get on there, the more confused people are, and they tend to vote things down. But 7 of the last tax increases have tanked. We expect that to happen again this year.
You know, for people who don't really know, what does the Senate Republican leader do?
Well, I represent the 15 members of the Senate Republican caucus and, interface with the other legislative leaders and basically try to project that unified voice from our caucus.
There's been a lot of frustration by the voters that not a lot is getting done, that they don't necessarily feel like they're being represented. How are you going to make that effective? How are you going to make that change?
Well, again, to the degree that we can agree on our own voice, our own goals, and then work with the governor, we're already plugged in with our constituents. If you ask the electorate, they like the person representing them or they wouldn't be there. It's just as a group we tend to become dysfunctional. So we're going to work to build those relationships and be relevant.
What kind of work are you going to do in terms of pension reform?
Well, actually, a lot of the work the governor has here was our work last year as a part of the GOP 5. I was a part of that process, although it wasn't a named part. But there's some very good reforms that are involved there. We could actually do more if we go directly to the voters in the ballot box. But if we can find legislative agreement, it certainly makes the task easier for reform.
And on terms of regulatory reform for businesses, what kinds of changes do you think you could possibly make?
Well, the governor understands some CEQA reform should happen. You've seen some little incremental stuff. We hope to get more, as well as there's 27,000 pages of regulations. We need to thin that down so we can get our businesses back to work hiring people. Okay,
a nice agenda of issues, and I'd like to talk to you again as the year goes on. Congratulations on your new position. And thank you for tuning in. Stay with us. More HLN coming up right after this.